Let's go. I've gotten some comments to break down Michael Penix's rookie debut versus the Miami Dolphins. I really appreciate all the love on all of our other rookie QB film studies. We've also done a few veteran ones. So let's start here. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you. I don't like BSing anyone. This was a guy I did not love in the pre-draft process. I had him as the 5th-ranked quarterback. Of course, he went 4th out of the Big Five, but first down, got a little lucky, defender slips, and you get a nice gain. All right, interesting situation here. 3rd and medium, all right? Miami over the years, going back to the Flores days, they love to crowd the line of scrimmage, right? So they're just forcing Michael Penix to throw this go ball with the safety being that far center field. And then it helped out that the safety actually ended up, coming into the box here and being responsible for the running back. So when Penix sees that, he knows that this go ball is going to be there. Now, was this the right decision to throw this football here? Yes. It was just not the most well-thrown football. I will also say this wasn't the absolute best from the receiver. You could tell he jumped a little early. It looked like that ball was always going to be off. But, does Roma Dunze make that catch last year for him? Yes. Does Drake London make that catch? I think so. And that was actually a good catch right there by Tua. All right, we get to here. I don't know what's happening here. But good quick football, good football IQ on the 2nd and 9. DB, or actually the backer here, has inside leverage. If the corner peels off here with the tight end, he knows that this is going to be open pretty quickly. So he gets into that awkward throwing motion and gets it out. I do think, obviously, the receiver ended up dropping it. All right, so Bo Nix in his debut played a little too fast for me in the pocket. Michael Penix played a little too slow. Because this was open, I do feel a little bit of nonchalance here, or just too much patience in throwing this rollout, because you are throwing this into the boundary. It is the shorter side of the field. It is an interesting decision to throw this football. He sees that the DB is on top of this receiver. He cuts it off here, and it is there. He does have a lot of room to make this throw. There was a little bit of pressure. Could this ball have still been caught? Yes. You can see it here, okay? Let's see. Yeah, NFL receiver needs to make that catch, all things considered. All right, so one thing all the quarterbacks did, all the rookie QBs, you could see Bo Nix, and you could also see Jaden Daniels do this. They all threw good goal balls down the sideline, right? Jaden's big throw was that. Josh Reynolds dropped one for Bo Nix for a tutty, and this is an absolute dot. Single high safety. If you're going up against single high safety, the go ball should be there. Now, is this Cooper DeJean right here? No. So I'm going to go ahead and play this rep. This is a bad miss for Michael Penix. NFL quarterbacks should be able to make this throw. But do you notice a trend here? Okay? It's the same receiver, all right? If I know that you can't make difficult catches, I just subjectively believe that I'm losing confidence in you. Casey Washington, this is a rookie receiver out of Illinois who really wasn't all that productive at Illinois. He dropped 2 semi-difficult catches that Drake London is making, that Darnell Mooney is making. This is a bad overthrow, but it could just be a total chemistry mismatch. But this shows me great leadership, great confidence. Guess what he does? He goes right back to him. All right? And this is really, really, really impressive. Full field read, starts off looking right on this long 2nd and 15. He decides to not throw it. He likes his pocket, really good protection, and he resets his feet. And he actually does have a little bit of pressure, not enough, though, to affect an absolute laser right here to Washington, who picks up the first down. That is really good stuff right there by Washington, finding the weak spot in the zone. You get a first. All right, this is one of my favorite Penix plays from the night. Obviously, the protection is his call here, or it could be the center's call, I don't know. But he decides to slide everyone to the right and leave the outermost guy unblocked. Now, I don't know if this was correct here. I think that they were sliding to the right, thinking that he would go or he would back out or whatever. But they do have 5 guys. They're all sliding protection to the right. And when you do that, you leave the most outside man free, okay? And sometimes they'll call the protection where the tackle stays here and everyone slides to the right, which in retrospect would have been better here. But it's tough. You need a quarterback that can make plays in this situation. And yes, could there be a better protection call from the O-line, the OC, or Penix here? Sure, because you don't want a whole lot of these unblocked full-speed hits on, future franchise quarterbacks. But he's not able to step into it, and he actually ends up picking the matchup that does win. Look at this. I mean, this honestly isn't bad ball location. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he knows a linebacker here is not making a crazy INT. I like the decision, just slightly inaccurate. 2nd and 11, nothing really here to break down at all. It's just, a simple screen pattern. I am really excited to see this Falcons offense this year. I am very skeptical at the same time with Kirk coming off this injury and a lot of new pieces, especially where Drake London is being drafted right now. This is a good block downfield by 87. And here's another Washington right here. I believe he went to Southeastern Louisiana. Shout out my guy AYS. Shout out Golden Lions. Let's go. I love watching Penix in the red zone. I just do. I mean, he plays a really fun game in the red zone, going back to his Washington days. All right. Good quick pass right here. Very easy throw. And, God, it's a huge helmet-to-helmet hit. And he almost got in. Good stuff, Fitzpatrick. And once again, lack of chemistry. I do love when teams get very unbalanced here. Okay, so you have trips here to the left. So you're overloaded here to the left. So you feel good about a fade if you want to run the fade. He decides to run the fade to Washington. They have a worse connection than the couples on Love Island, and this ball is just not even close. Once again, I will hold my judgment until I see Penix with Drake London. So one thing you notice, and I'm not just piling on Washington here, I'm showing everything. Lots of inaccuracies throughout this. I will defend Penix as well. The other QBs in their film studies had way, way, way better protection, and the defensive schematic calls were way worse. In particular, J.J. McCarthy. Okay, we get to here. It's a deeper pattern. It does get cut off. I like this, though, on 2nd and 10. If they're going to sit back that far deep, just hit your checks. All right? He steps up. I do like this when he steps up. 2 hands on the football every time. When you step up in the pocket and there's arms around you, and throws a nice little check down here. Maybe something was open deep. I doubt it with how far everyone was back deep. But it's a really, really nice gain. And the good thing about that is that you can have guys come in and help push you forward. 3rd and 1. And once again, I know some would say you would prefer to hit the outside upfield shoulder. I slightly disagree with that. I don't mind if he's this open, hitting him on the upfield shoulder, because it momentum-wise does push you upfield instead of horizontally. All right, 2nd and 10. This is very good understanding of the game of football, okay? He actually starts off looking central and then looks left, sees a guy running unblocked pretty much. He finally gets picked up, and Penix gets to 82, Washington, and hits him. Okay, short gain, but you make it 3rd and manageable. So now you're looking at the best throw Penix has made all preseason, and honestly, you can make a case that any quarterback has made this preseason. This is a rookie quarterback. You see him here getting the running back right up to that A gap to help that double A gap look pre-snap. He motions the receiver here to help indicate man coverage. That helps him know that the out is going to be there. And once again, we've seen Casey Washington basically drop everything. The ball has to be perfectly thrown for him to catch it. That's excellent. Before we get to this final throw, I want to show you Michael Penix's stats. Obviously, they weren't that great, but you see how one marquee receiver really moves the needle, right? And you have to keep in mind, this is going to sound like hyperbole, but his receivers at Washington, ironically, Washington, are better than the receivers he threw to in this game, right? All three are rookies. All three are already making some noise in rookie minicamps, and all three were selected in the first couple of rounds. His offensive line was also elite. His coaching was also elite, so on and so on and so on. So, without Drake London or any of the backup receivers, I know James Washington, it's crazy how many Washingtons are there. He actually, Penix has a Washington teammate who I like a lot, Braylon Trice, who's actually hurt right now. But the truth here is I need to see Penix with better weapons, because I honestly was a little bit more impressed as I've rewatched this over and over and over again. I know at first I sounded like, hey, I didn't like him in the pre-draft process and I didn't really like this game. It honestly wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. I mean, I think Penix's football IQ is ridiculous. I really, really, really do. I do feel the release and accuracy, it's a little slow, a little elongated. QB mechanic experts, feel free to correct me on that. He's a little bit late, even though this is a very difficult route on 3rd and 6 with the corner really sitting on those sticks. But still, I like it. I do. I thought it was fine. But Falcons, please get this man like some type of receiver so we can actually see him with some big-time weapons. Floating in your face, some of our other film studies. Check it out, okay?